the same time I'm pouring, I end up dumping everything. And of course, hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Ginny Mae, the Intergalactic Supreme Goddess of Guest Service, and I thank you so much for watching. I've had many of you suggest that you would like to talk about what happens if I do dump a tray. And I've always thought it's not if you dump a tray, it's when you dump a tray. I've dumped a tray in some really horrible times, and most of the time I dumped the tray was when I was really, really nervous. And so one thing you need to say when you go to get your tray is try not to be nervous and keep telling yourself, I can do this, I can really do this. So I just have some glasses on the tray right now, and when I pick it up, I put my hand underneath, right in the middle, so I'm balanced out. If you want to have a video about the first time, of course, you can end up looking at my other video. I'll link it for you in the bottom. And I feel very comfortable with all these drinks right now, and I'm going to go down to the table. But let's say I ended up setting this down for my guest here, and if you're the type of restaurant that pours drinks up, let's say I'm pouring, and at the same time I'm pouring, I end up dumping everything. And of course, that definitely could end up happening, and I know that I've done that myself. The first thing you think is, oh crap, look all the glasses on the floor, maybe you broke some glass. Then your brain is like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? Well, the first thing you need to prioritize a little bit and make sure that you take care of the guest first. So I would just grab what I could off the table, let the things on the floor be there, and I would say to the guest, I am so sorry, wait one moment, I'm going to get something to dry you off. And I'm gonna run to the kitchen. I got rid of those two glasses, I still have my tray, I have a cloth that is for wet, and I also have one for dry, and it needs to be a clean one because I know in the restaurant we sometimes use things over and over, and if this has any type of gooey stain or sauce or something like that on it because I grabbed it from the wrong spot, and I want to dry off my guest with this, now not only do they have the drink on them, but they're also going to have the sauce or whatever on the towel. So make sure your towel is really, really clean. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to offer the clean towel to the guest. Here, I would like to give you this towel. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. That was not the meaning. And I'm going to dry off the table. And then let's say the drink also went down on their purse or something. I'm going to get down. I'm going to do whatever it can and try drying off my guest items, shopping bags, whatever it might be. And maybe you need a couple of these depending on the size of your spill as well. After I have my guest pretty much dried off, then afterwards I'm going to go down to the floor and pick up the stuff around. Sometimes I know, depending on what country you are, you have security measures where you have to put down this yellow stand that says, you know, wet floor or whatever it is. Hopefully you have a good colleague in the area and not all the colleagues kind of run the opposite direction but end up coming towards you to try to help the situation. So hopefully one of your colleagues did that. And if you have a colleague that dumped the tray, be the one that's helping out and go get that yellow stand that says wet floor, or go get some towels and things like that so that your colleague can stay down and start apologizing to the guest and helping them dry up all their things. After I get everything cleaned up as much as possible, I'm apologizing the whole entire time. It does make you feel a little bit better to apologize, and of course that's something the guest would like. We need to find out what is your policy in your restaurant to fix the situation. If I dumped all their cocktails and beers on them, of course, as a guest, I would expect that I get all new beers, and maybe even for free. So find out what is your policy so you know right away how you can take it with the guest. I'm so sorry I spilled all those beers. You know what? I'm going to replace all the beers for you, and it's going to be for free. And I'm, again, so sorry about this. And a lot of times they're like, oh, it's all right. It was just an old shirt or something. But sometimes it was a brand new suit, and inside the guest is totally freaking out. Another policy to ask your restaurant is what happens if they're wearing something that needs to be dry cleaned? Does the restaurant pay for it? Do I have to pay for it myself? Do I even offer the guest to get it paid for? Or do they take it to the dry cleaners, bring us back the receipt and we pay for it? Or what is the policy that we have? Make sure that you know this ahead of time so you're able to take it with the guest and offer the guest. At the restaurant I'm in right now, we always offer the guest free dry cleaning. In fact, there's several times in my life where I have actually went to their house, picked up their dry cleaning, took it to the dry cleaners, and returned it back to their house so they do not have to deal with the receipt or anything like that. In a way to say, hey, we are so sorry, and of course we want them to come back again. It's not something that happens all the time, but if it is, then trying to make the best possible situation out of it you can. Some of you are of a really good sense of humor, and I think, of course, apologizing is the best thing, but if you have the right sense of humor and the right thing you can say to kind of lighten the situation and it passes in with what's going on, of course you can put that in to lighten it up. But I would highly suggest to be able to find out how can you make up for the situation for the guest and actually get the experience back up to the level where it was supposed to be in the beginning. Another little analogy that I always like to think about that could possibly save you from dumping a tray all over the guest is when you have your tray like this and all of a sudden maybe someone's coming towards you, or the guest is sitting at the bar or some high chair and you're trying to get the drinks around and they lean into you. If you have a chance, and when everything's about to dump off your tray, sometimes things go in slow motion. Have you ever had that happen? When they do, if you possibly can, try to push the tray on top of yourself, because sometimes your chest will end up saving all the glasses and maybe you'll get some drinks and a little bit on you, but your guest won't get anything. And usually, when this has happened to me before and I'm like this, I always have a good colleague running up to take, the extra couple glasses, and I'm making it back to the kitchen or wherever I was so that I can contain all the drinks kind of on myself. And that's why I like to carry an extra uniform to work, especially if I have a long shift, or keep it in my locker just in case I end up spilling something on myself. I have an extra uniform I can use, and hopefully an extra apron and something else so I stay dry and look nice for the rest of my shift. If you do dump something, I know that afterwards you just feel horrible. If you can maybe take a little break, just, hide yourself in the back or go outside, just even if it's for 2 minutes, just to take a breather and calm down and kind of get your attitude and your positivity back up, it helps so much. One of the things that I think is very difficult to do is to dump a tray, clean it up, and the next thing you have to go grab another tray for another guest in the restaurant and take that down because you're so busy. And I understand sometimes there's not time for that, but maybe if you can just stand at the service station for 30 seconds, take some big breaths, deep breaths, and try to calm yourself down. Because if you are nervous from just dumping a tray on somebody else, then of course when you're going down to the next table, that nervousness is going to end up coming out. Even though if you don't dump a tray on the next table, which I'm sure that you probably won't do 2 times in a row, but that nervousness does come out to the next guest, and that kind of gives like a very strange attitude for their experience, and that's going to affect your tip and your sales and everything else. So if you can take just that 30-second breather in a corner or somewhere to just calm yourself down and say, all right, I get a start over, or, a free start here. Let's start all over. That was the past, and now I'm going to go up and serve as I'm a super professional now, I guess you could say. Just taking that breather might give you a fresh new start, so you can serve the rest of the tables as you had planned to when you came in that day for your shift. Hey, I hope this video helped you a lot. If you have any questions, write it down below. And if you ever dumped a tray yourself like I have, please write down below your experience with it, because it will probably make a lot of us feel a lot better. Anyway, I wish you a wonderful week, and I will cross fingers that you don't dump a tray. See you next time. I'm Ginny Mae, the Intergalactic Supreme Goddess of Guest Service, and I thank you so much for watching our video. Please give this video a thumbs up, and if you like more tips and tricks, click here and press on my face right here to subscribe. And don't forget to hit the little bell sign so you get notified every time I come out with a new video. Let's go out and give amazing service.